Ring, ring. Hello? This P. Milli. Hey, guess what? You're not gonna believe this.
Get ready for Milli Talk, the Money Talk podcast. That's right, baby. Ring, ring when the money is calling. You better pick up. Hosted by Paris Millionaire.
Welcome to the Milli Talk podcast, where we talk all things wealth, all things financial literacy, all things getting to the bag, and just added all things mental health as well. And you know what? I'm going to throw it in there too. All things God as well. You know what I mean? So I know it's been a minute since we filmed a podcast episode. I'm super excited, but we're back and we're better and we're coming heavy. So today's episode is about to be super special because we are filming this episode and recording this episode live on IG Live and on Twitch. And so today we're going to be talking about blocking out the noise on social media. I know it's been a minute since we filmed a podcast, since we've been coming, since we've been going live, since we've been on social media. But sometimes those breaks are needed. And now that we took a break and now that we're refreshed, now we can come back and actually deliver something that's really meaningful to you guys. So tune into this episode and you guys are in for a treat. People that are tuning in live right now, that are watching me live. So there we go. I just wanted to say thank you so much for everybody that supported me on this journey. You know, it'd be a lot going on. And life is hard sometimes. So sometimes you got to take those needed breaks, but I'm back and I'm better. I'm blessed. And, we're going up in 2023. So look forward to seeing more of me and look forward to seeing, just taking massive imperfect action and not expecting anything in return and really just truly just staying true to my vision and what I see. You know what I mean? So this episode today, honestly, this episode is about, so the topic of this is episode 3 or 4. I'm not sure exactly what episode this is, but blocking out the noise of social media. So I feel like this episode was extremely important to film today, as we're in our last month of 2022, right? And it's important that you really truly lock into what you're trying to do in this next month, right? Get serious about it so that going into 2023, you already know where you're going. Right? There's a lot of social media is a beautiful place, right? But also too, there's a lot of noise on social media, right? And you could easily get distracted. So this is something that I had to retrain myself, right? And get into the habit of learning how to utilize social media for what it's for, and then learning how to get off of social media, right? When it's the time for that. So in 2023, or just going into ending this year, it's important that we block out the noise and stay focused on what we're doing. So one of the first things that I want to say is that in order for you to be successful, right, to go to new heights and go to new horizons, because we live in a world on social media where there's so much going on, and I don't care like who you are, it's easy to get into the comparison trap. But I'm here to tell you that comparison is the thief of joy, right? You comparing yourself to others is a thief of joy. So something that I started doing, like I don't even scroll on social media anymore. Honestly, I don't even scroll. Like I might do it every now and again, but I feel like once I start scrolling, I notice how my mood and my mindset and everything shifts around me, right? And I feel like in order for me to be my highest and best self, in order for me to be my highest level of creativity, is that I can't see what other people are doing, because when I was in the height of my, just really taking off on social media, and the reason why I was able to take off is because literally I was in a lane of my own. And this is something that Todd just recently said as well in his Million While You're Young book. He said that when you have competition, like it makes it harder for you. But when you carve out your own lane and your own unique path, that's where your success will happen. So you have to seize the opportunity of your uniqueness, right? And you trying to conform to what everybody else is doing, right? It's making you blend in with the pack. It's making you blend into what everyone else is doing. how you're going to blow up and how you're going to just go to the next level and really like, you know, take off is by being unique. So you trying to fit in like, oh, people are doing this type of content, this type of content. You think that's the bar, doing what everybody else is doing, but really the true secret is like when they're going left, you should be going right. And I feel like in order for you to keep that level of like originality is by you not paying attention to what others are doing, so that you can't be easily swayed or just like subconsciously feel subconscious of what you're putting out there. So that's a tip that I recommend for you guys to start doing coming up, is just really lock in to what you're trying to do and stay focused on your vision. So you have to focus on you and focus on your vision and understand that if God gave you the vision, it can happen, right? It might sound crazy. It might sound like you're going to tell your friends, they're going to be like, nah, I don't think you should do that. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. You know how many times I've said things and people told me like it wasn't a good idea? Like, literally, you have to believe that whatever that you're doing, you have to believe that, you know, it's possible and not expect feedback or praises or anything from anyone. And that's something that I'm learning to do, right? So, like, right now I'm on live and I think there's maybe 5 people watching me, right? The old me, I'll be like, man, I'm about to get off this line. Ain't nobody on here. But what I've learned is, and something that I've learned just going through therapy and just really just getting one with myself, you feel me? And really understanding who I am and really remembering who I am. And to understand that my value, and I'm telling this to anybody that's watching this or anybody that's listening to this, my value is not attached to how many likes I get, how many comments I get, how many followers I get. I know we live in a social media, a vanity matrix where your value is equated to these type of matrices. But I need you to understand that your value, that shit doesn't mean anything. You feel me? That's something that society has created. And I need you to understand that just because your content or anything that you're doing is not getting the notoriety that you want or the attention that you want, that doesn't mean that it's not valuable. You feel me? It's valuable. It's just that the right people are not, you don't have the right amount of eyes on your content. And we'll talk about that on other episodes of how you can get more eyes onto your content, but it really is just a marketing thing. You know what I mean? So I just want you going into the new year, whatever that you're doing, even if it's not getting the attention that you want, don't let that discourage you, because easily on social media, a lot of times you could get discouraged because you only have 3 views or only have 5 people watching you. But another thing that I've realized, right, and just doing my own inner work and just, you know, like I said, going through therapy, like therapy has helped me so much. Like I've gained so many skills and just, it's really honestly being a blessing. Like shout out to my therapist. Like she really helps me get it together. But, it's like you have to get to a place of, that's why like the content that I'm about to create going forward, it's not going to be the content that my audience wants or what I think people are doing or what's trendy. No, you have to honestly, truly come from a place of what you're passionate about. You feel me? Like, what is it that you want to do, right? And do it for the love of it, you know? Like, honestly, the only way that you're going to last in this industry and just last in anything that you do, any type of business, like, you really, truly have to come from a place of joy and truly from a place of, like, I enjoy what I do. Like, me, I love, like, that's what I had to think about. Like, what is it that I love doing? Like, what's something that I would die for? Like, I was looking back at my old journals, and I was talking about a high school credit tour in like 2018, 2017. Like this is something I've been passionate about, teaching financial literacy. So that's something that I'm very, very true to. And that's something that I want to do forever because that's something that I enjoy to my core. So I just encourage anybody, whatever dream that you're chasing, whatever, you know, you trying to launch a podcast, you trying to launch a business, you trying to shoot content on Instagram. Like, don't get caught up in these matrix that are made by these apps to determine whether your content is good. Like, you just got to keep going. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, you never know you never know who is watching you. And look, I'm gonna tell you guys a real life example, something that just recently happened to me, and I'm gonna tell you how God works, and I'm gonna tell you how, like, you don't have to be extra out on these apps to get noticed. You feel me? Like, you don't have to do too much. You know how some people on Instagram, they doing hella much. It's like, dang, like, you doing a lot. Like, you don't have to, like, I'm extra when I need to be extra, but at the same time, I know how to just fall back and just be me. So, for example, just recently, I promise you. So, I've been following this guy, really big in real estate. He's a really big real estate investor, developer in Houston, right? And he's somebody that I've been personally following since 2018. So I don't know how he came across my page, but anyways, he started following me on social media. And just the other day, he DM'd me. He would like comment on my story. He was like, how come we've never made money together? Like, you have really good energy. I was like, for real, like, you can feel my energy through Instagram. He was like, yeah, like, I can see that you're good people, and I like what you're doing. Just keep going. And I just, like, I've never said nothing really to this man. You feel me? But it's crazy because this is somebody that I've admired since 2018 and have secretly wanted to work with, but I just never approached it because I'm just like, just doing me. But I say all that to say, these are the type of people that I'm attracting without doing anything. Like, y'all know that I have been absent off of social media. I barely post. Like, I might do a 1-2 thing on my story or whatever, but it's nothing crazy. You feel me? Like, it's nothing crazy. It's just me whenever God gives me, like, a revelation, I go on there and minister or whatever I want to post. Like, I just do me. You feel me? Like, I don't be, like, I'm not on social media right now to try to get attention or to do anything or get any type of reaction from my followers. Honestly, I'm doing what I want to do. But I say all that to say, in my quietest time on social media, I was able to attract somebody that I've been wanting to work with for years, since 2018, and they reached out to me. So I say all that to say, when you're authentic to the person that you are on social media without doing too much, without having to be extra, without having to, damn near fucking sell your soul. These people be out here selling their soul and stuff for followers and attention. Without having to do all that, people are reaching out to me. And I say all that to say is that that's the same thing that can happen for you. You don't need, it's the right eyes that are looking at you. You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes you might have 300 followers, but you might have 300 quality people that could, it might be that one person that could change your life. So don't get caught up on how many, get caught up on the quantity and the quality of people that are following you. You feel me? That are tapping in with your work, that are buying your product. So don't get so caught up in the numbers. You know what I mean? So that is what I wanted to say in terms of, like, blocking out the noise on social media, just really locking into everything that you want to do and not getting too caught up on what everybody else is doing. Like, I'm telling you, there's so much noise on social media, and you can honestly really get lost in the sauce. And social media is an amazing place. It's a great place to promote your business, but also too, it can really affect your mental health too if you're not cautious and you're not mindful of how much shit you're consuming. We need to learn how to be producers over consumers. You should be the one putting out the content, not the person that's consuming the content. So just be very mindful of how much you're consuming on social media on a daily basis, right? And then so then my next thing is, don't wait until 2023 to start getting serious about your goals. So a lot of people is like, oh, it's January 1st, new me. It's a new me. I'm turning up. It's a new me. You don't have to wait till January 1st. I feel like this is how you could literally give yourself an extra 13 months or 14 months, is by starting now. So whatever you plan on doing in January, start the habits now. So when you roll into January, it won't be as hard and it won't be this shock that you have because you already started eating healthy. You already started, if you want to lose weight, you already started working out. You already started your podcast. You already started your business. You already started working towards it. Whatever it is that you want to do in 2023, honestly start it right now, so when you go into 2023, you already kind of like built the momentum. That's why right now I'm filming this podcast. Like, I'm shooting this podcast. I'm streaming live on Twitch. Like, these are all the things that I'm going to be doing in 2023. We're going to be streaming on YouTube. But I just wanted to start practicing now and start building up that momentum. So then when 2023 comes, I've already built the habit. And I've already, basically, like, not really psyched myself up, but I've already, like, built the momentum to where it's like I'm not worried about how many views I get. Really, that's the thing about all this stuff. It's like, you just got to do it. That's something that Todd always says. You just got to do it. You just got to put it out there, You just got to allow the market to tell you if it's good. Like, I feel like a lot of times we hinder ourselves from launching and putting products out there because we're over-perfecting, we're over-analyzing, and we're like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't think it's perfect. Like, nah, like, the things that blew up for me, like, I think back, like, the things that were most successful was stuff that I did not plan. So it's like, you got to have that same attitude. Like, literally, you got to put everything out there. Like, literally, that's what Todd just said on the episode. Put everything out there. Everything that you're thinking about doing, put it out there. See if it works, because you don't know what's going to blow up. You may think like, oh, I'm going to blow up from lashes, right? Like, I look at a lot of these people like B. Simone and them. Like, they all say, or Saucy Santana, he's like, I didn't want to be no rapper. Or B. Simone, I didn't want to be a commander. I wanted to be an artist. So it's like, you never know what you're going to end up doing. But if you don't put it out there and you don't see what's taking off, then you won't know. And then once you find out what's taking off, then you double down on that and go all in on that. So that's what we're doing in 2023, is putting it out there. Fucking no more procrastination. No more analysis paralysis. That's something that I've been telling myself, is like, I had to look back at when I was most successful. When I was most successful on social media, it was when I wasn't overthinking. Like, I wasn't planning nothing. I was just doing. You feel me? I was just doing, and then it just took off. So it's like, I had to get back to that. And I feel like sometimes having too much information and knowing too much strategy, low-key, that could cripple you. Because you're like, fuck, I got to do all this to launch. Like, I need a funnel. I need this. I need da-da-da-da. And I feel like sometimes that's a hindrance. So I feel like at the very least, sometimes you just got to get back to the basics. You just got to get back to the basics, and you got to reevaluate, like, okay, well, what was I doing before when I was most successful, and basically reverse engineer it to what you were doing at that your most successful time, and do it again. You feel me? Because if you did it once, you could do it again. So that, I think we've been on this episode. Let's see how long we've been on here. 23 minutes. This is a long episode. But we're about to wrap it up, and then we're going to go to the next segment of the episode where we take some live feedback from people that are participating or people that are watching this episode live. If anyone has any questions, you could drop them right now in the chat, and I'm going to answer them. And then I'm going to end this episode. I'm going to get off of here. So a lot of people was tapping in. They were saying they agreed. They were saying exactly. They said they needed this sister. See, that's what I'm saying. You just never know. That's why you got to just do it, because even if it's like, even if you reach 5 people, you don't know if those 5 people, like, you might have changed their life, or you might have, helped them from being sad, or whatever the case may be. So does anybody have any questions or anything like that? We are live right now on Milli Talk Podcast. We're streaming live on Twitch, and we're streaming live on Instagram. So if anybody has any questions or feedback or anything like that, I will be taking questions live. And then if no one has any questions, I will be ending this episode. And I want to say thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. Somebody said, when is the next episode? The next episode is next week, or it could be tomorrow. Hey, you should come on. You should come on Pete, Milli, and Friends and come chop it up with me. They ask him, see, that's what I'm saying. You just gotta go sometimes. That people want more episodes. So they asked, when was the next episode? Does anybody have any other thoughts, feedback, comments, or anything like that? Because I'm gonna wrap it up. I just wanted to, answer any questions live. I think this is pretty interactive. I really enjoyed this. We got to get our streams up on Twitch. They don't know about us on Twitch, but we definitely was on Twitch. And we definitely was on Instagram. We got Alex the Connect in the building. We got Alex the Connect. Maybe Alex the Connect will come on P. Milli and Friends as well. All right, guys. So if no one, I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds. If anybody doesn't have any more feedback into what I was just talking about, I was just talking about blocking out the noise of social media and how you really gotta just lock into what you're doing and not really pay attention to what others are doing on your feed. Don't be scrolling on here. Don't be looking at what this one's doing. Don't be comparing my video quality is not the same as theirs, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. And they got a podcast and they got videos and they got 3 cameras. Literally, I had a lot of those thoughts. I was like, man, these podcasts got 3 cameras. They in studios and stuff like that. I'm like, well, how am I gonna compete with that? But I really had to just remember, you know what? Everything great started off small. And what am I doing it for? You know what I mean? Somebody's gonna listen. So that's really the attitude and that's the mindset that you have to have on these platforms. Is don't get caught up in what everyone else is doing. And then I was just talking to my brother about this as well. So the thing is, a lot of these podcasts B. Simone and them or I don't know. Millionaire Mindset podcast, right? A lot of people that are starting these podcasts and stuff like that, they made millions of dollars in other industries. So they have the budget to come out the gate in a studio and 3 cameras and an AD and mics and all that stuff. I have all that stuff too. I have all that equipment as well, but it's a lot trying to do all that shit by myself. So it's you can't compare your journey to a multi-millionaire that's coming out with a podcast. A lot of these, look at Millionaire Mindset. They started off in their living room on a table and on Zoom. You feel me? And now he has the #1 top 10% podcast in the world. And now he's in a big ass studio in Dallas, killing it. You know what I mean? Guests are flying out, but he didn't start off like that. So it's just we gotta remember. I know in 2022, all these people are launching these podcasts and they're super lit, and the quality is A1, HD video, 3 camera setup, all that shit. But it's just there's somebody out there that's just starting their podcast that don't have all that, and they're still starting. You know what I mean? So don't compare your journey. You feel me? Your day one to somebody's 20 years in the game, or somebody that made millions doing comedy, or somebody that made millions with, doing music or something and launching a podcast. So it's just you got to remember where you're starting, and just don't pay attention to that. Cause my brother was you should look at some other people. I said, no, I'm not about to look at nobody podcast, because if I do that, then I'm gonna start second guessing myself. Well, damn, I don't think there needs to be no more podcasts. So it's no. Don't look at nobody else's shit. You don't need no inspiration from nobody. If you're creative, if you're originator, you don't need inspiration from others. Just do you, and then your tribe, your vibe, your tribe will find you. You feel me? So, they got 3 cameras, and they don't have humility. Exactly. That's what people gotta understand. They got 3 cameras, but they do not have P. Milli. You feel me? That's where the money is. That's where the bag is. You know what I mean? That's what you gotta tell yourself. They don't have meat. You know what I mean? You have to you have to see your uniqueness and what value you're bringing to the marketplace. Let's see. Somebody said, I agree. I get a lot more done when I block out. Yep. Somebody said I get a lot more done when they block out everybody. Okay. Oh, we got Lick My Fashion in the building. Shout out to my boy Jalen. Shout out to my boy Jalen. I love him so much. Super supportive. Always encouraging me. He's always killing the content game. So those that are new that just tuned in, right now we are filming a podcast live, Milli Talk podcast. I wanted to do something new. I'm streaming on Twitch. I'm streaming on Instagram. And I just did a whole segment about blocking out the noise of social media and really locking into your vision and not really caring about what others are doing on this app and getting focused on what you're doing and really get focused on your vision and what you're trying to do and running up your bag, and don't look to the left and don't look to the right of you and just see tunnel vision. And I'm telling you, in 2023, your life is going to go to the next level by you just not even paying attention to what others are doing. Like, literally, you got to just live in a bubble. You feel me? Just live in a bubble. Like, somebody was telling me the other day, like, oh, did you see this? Did you see this? I'm like, I don't even know what be going on social media because I don't know. I don't look at it. And I kind of just like it like that. It's better that way. I love you more. I'm so happy to see you online. We love to see it. Yes. You got to come on the podcast one day. You got to come on P. Milli and Friends, Jalen, where I'm going to have my friends. We're going to just have, conversations and talk about things that are going on. And just so I don't have to be, talking by myself. So I thank you all for tuning in. So I'm about to close out this episode. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to the Milli Talk podcast. This was an amazing episode. We had an amazing guest tune in with us on Instagram. It was great. We took massive imperfect action. I really didn't even know what I was doing. This is super impromptu. I'm streaming live on Twitch. So if you're watching this, follow us on Twitch. We're going to be doing more streaming in 2023. And follow us on Instagram as well. So you're going to go www.twitch.tv/ParisMillionaire. Subscribe to the podcast. Tell a friend of a friend. Tell your friends. Tell your mamas. Tell your daddies. Tell your grandmas. Tell your baby daddies. Tell everybody that you want to tell to tune into the podcast. Tell them P. Milli is back on the scene. We're taking over. We're going up in 2023. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep your foot on people's necks. Right? And remember, I'm going to leave y'all with this. Block out the noise. Read your Bibles. Get yourself a study Bible, because that's what I've been doing. Read the word. Get into them scriptures. And just understand that you don't have to conform to this world to be successful. God understands that it's hard to follow him and to do it his way. But just understand that people that aren't doing his way, they're not going to have everlasting success. And if you want to have everlasting success in what you're doing, understand that you got to put God first. And I forget what scripture that is. I think that's Matthew 6:33. Seek the kingdom of God. Seek the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added. And that's what I'm leaving with. And just understand that God is going to bless you exceedingly above all that you can ever ask for and imagine. Just continue to keep him in the forefront. I know it's easy to get distracted with everything that goes on social media and just of the world. But, now is the time for you to build your relationship and to get closer with God and build that foundation, because that's what's going to last, and that's what's going to get you through the hard times. That's honestly what has saved me, and that's honestly what gives me peace is the word of God. So not trying to turn this into something religious or anything like that, but I'm just trying to give y'all some foundational principles so that you guys can have something to fall back on. Because I know people be having a hard time, some people have hard times like me. And I suggest that you just get into the word, So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for always supporting me. And you guys have a blessed and amazing night. And I look forward to filming the next episode. Take care. It is P. Milli. We are signing out.